Hello, everyone, and happy Wellness Wednesday. Thank you for showing up on today's weekly chat, where every Wednesday I go live for about 10 to 15 minutes to kind of catch you up to speed on everything mindset, nutrition, and fitness. So for those of you who are new to my group, I want to say hello and welcome. My name is Aubrey Warwick. I am a transformation specialist, TV fitness expert here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as well as a bikini pro. I am a little over a week out from my third pro show that is going to be happening in Tampa, Florida next Saturday. I'm so excited. And I'm also excited to go out with my husband on a date. We haven't, well, I shouldn't say we haven't done that in a while, but you know, let my hair down a little bit, so to speak. So the other thing that you need to know before I talk about the big O is what's coming down the pike for you. Gang, make sure you turn notifications on in this group if you are looking for a means to quiet the noise in your social media feed, for me to help you navigate perhaps your health a little bit better. Because as a fitness expert and nutrition coach, you know what? It's not all about weight loss. And sometimes it's not all about body composition. Now what it's about is you just feeling good, thriving in the body that you're in, and feeling that you are falling back in love with who you see in the mirror. So my Perfect 10 program is starting again. This is the second free fitness challenge that I'm offering. Please take advantage of it. Please play full out with me. We'll talk about that later, but it starts next Tuesday. If you don't have P10, the Perfect 10, download it, drop in the comments, P10 me, so that you get that and that you register for the live events. You can always catch me on the replay next week, which is fine. However, if you really want to go on and take advantage of this opportunity, and maybe you're in the season of life where you do want to sign up for my longer term commitment. Jesus, it's going to fall. Okay. I have a little hourglass over there. I was like, ooh, it's teetering on the edge. Okay, so let's talk about the big O word, Ozempic. From a fitness expert nutrition standpoint, well, guess what? I've never taken it. So do I really know? Let me tell you what I do know about any type of medication. And this is not crazy information, but like anything, there's going to be side effects. So maybe you're watching this and you're like, hey, I'm on Ozempic, or right now you're on a different class of drugs, a GLP-1 receptor, or, you know, a semaglutide. So what that is doing, Ozempic specifically came to be approved by the FDA in 2017. So it's actually been around a lot longer than maybe we've known, than we thought. But this medication was specifically utilized for those people who have type 2 diabetes. And like many things, when, you know, Big Pharma rolls these things out, it's like, hey, we could see the benefits with other people. And America definitely has a crisis on its hands. We know that we have an obesity epidemic, not just with adults, but with children. So whenever there's these issues, I won't tell you my perspective on Big Pharma, because that's not what today's about. But to recognize different patterns in our industry, I think, is important. So let's say maybe you are on Ozempic specifically for weight loss. What this does, it helps manage blood sugar levels. It helps slow digestion down. And those are all great things whenever you're trying to lose weight. Now, some people have come to me before and they say, Aubrey, I don't want to tell you this, but I'm on Ozempic. And they have shame around it. So I want to give you or anyone else out there, you know, the opportunity to just remove that layer of shame from yourself. Because this is my thought as a fitness expert, the overarching message to my message today is that there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get to your goal. And let's say you are the type of person that is like, listen, I just want to experience what it feels like to not have a tumultuous relationship with food, and maybe that class of drugs works for you. There is no shame to the game, okay? Now, I think it's always good from an outside perspective to be aware, okay? So let's go back to what meditation means, to bring awareness to the patterns in our industry for weight loss. The fitness and nutrition industry is guilty of it too. What's the latest fitness phase? What's the latest fad diet? What's the latest supplement that we can take? The noise. Then we think, okay, what's the next step? So make sure you, as you guys are jumping on, I see you're jumping on, make sure you listen to the first part of this message so that it doesn't get confused or taken out of context. So benefits of these different types of semaglutides. I talked about people have improved blood sugar control, reading from my notes here, weight loss, cardiovascular benefits, and convenient dosing. Okay, it's injected once a week. So let's think about the benefits of exercise. Oh, that's right. Improved blood sugar control, weight loss, cardiovascular benefits. Now, what about that convenience part? So the convenient part comes into play when, this is what I do for a living. I coach people on behavior change. So that's why I'd love for you guys to experience Perfect 10. I was telling one of my clients the other day, it's like natural Ozempic, okay, where you don't need a shot. But what you do need to realize is the power of your mind and reframing. And it does take work. It does. It is the best work that you will ever work on. How do I know this? Because I've been there myself. I've put myself through numerous transformations, through all the different nutrition strategies. So I want to go back to my original point. There's more than one way to skin a cat. All right. So we all know that cliche. And just like, let's say you're trying to heal from a disease, Western medicine isn't the only way to heal from a disease, right? There's Eastern medicine. There's so many different techniques that you can get to your goal. So I think it's important to have awareness to whatever it is going on. And perhaps to not jump on the bandwagon with anything right away. You have to ask yourself, does this align with my goals and my values? And you could apply that statement to any aspect of your life. Because bottom line, exercise and nutrition is not a quick fix. The other day, someone asked me to say, hey, well, if I just do Perfect 10 for 2 days, do you think that will, remedy the situation? I'm like, no, I don't. The Perfect 10 is a 10-day program that is educational around mindset reframing and your viewpoint around fitness. A lot of people have transformed themselves in just 10 days. But when the 10 days is done, what happens? And just like any external force, if we're taking a shot, right? What happens when that shot is done? Or what patterns have we seen in the industry with, let's say, bariatric surgery? What happens when the stomach starts to regrow? So if we just focus on one aspect of the human being, we are missing the big picture because you are not just one aspect. And whenever we just focus on, let's say, the shot, bariatric surgery, maybe just, I'm going to kill myself in the gym. Guess what? It doesn't last. It might work at first, but it doesn't last forever. Why is that? Because we are beings. We are physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So that's the power of mindset coaching. And gang, I wouldn't have a career if it was just about the physical part of us. So that's why I hope that you'll join me next week with Perfect 10 so you get to see my style of mindset coaching. I've worked with so many experts over the years, different trainings, certifications, Tony Robbins, Doris Cohen, local psychology experts, functional medicine specialists, these people that I've gone through their protocol, as well as to say, okay, the knowledge that I have now, how can I regurgitate this and in a good way and apply it to my market, which are women who are busy and they are looking for their transformation so they can thrive in their earth suit. Now, let's talk about, like anything, some people, they say, okay, well, this is working for me. Maybe that drug is very beneficial. What are some of the side effects? And if you are on this medication, you might already know that. And it's a matter of you weighing your pros and cons list. And I think, again, if it aligns with you, what I have learned over the years, very much so, is to not cast judgment on anyone else's choices, right? It is your body. You have the right to do that. But bring awareness to if it is aligned with you. And sometimes, it is. And that's great. But the reason why I was saying like my program is like natural Ozempic is because the protocol that I've put myself through over years and years and years, I've been able to change my DNA. Okay, and you can do it too. Meaning, let's say maybe my DNA really is, I gain weight in my belly. Anytime I gain weight, it's like always in my belly, and then I look like I stand like a baby, so I look like a little Buddha, and that's not what I want to look like. So how do we change our DNA over time? Well, we got to practice. We have to start to, all of you who exercise, you are bodybuilders. You're building your body. You have the authority to do that, like you are the sculptor with clay. How cool is that? And so now you can kind of like reframe that and say, I can have some fun with this. Now everyone's different. So with Perfect 10, I'd like to show people how simple we can make exercise fit into your day. Because the benefits of Ozempic, like we said, are the same benefits of exercise and fueling our nutrition, or filling our bodies with foods that we're aligned to make us thrive for that last one, right? We think that maybe exercise is inconvenient. Maybe we don't like it. Honestly, guys, it just takes a little bit of practice, and sometimes you do need a coach to get you there. So let's go back to the idea of what do you do when these things wear off? What do you do when Perfect 10's done? What do you do if you can't afford these types of medications? Well, you have to do a cost shift, and we are going to talk about that later next week. I have had plenty of clients say, you know what, this is the month I'm going to give up my Botox. I'm going to give up my Botox and put it to the investment in my health because I've never experienced what it's like to drive a Ferrari. Now, I'm relating our Earth suit to a Ferrari because if our car right now feels like it's breaking down, if you feel like the car that you get into every morning is the jalopy and you're like, man, can I just trade this in for a better one? Well, the answer is yes, but there's going to have to be some shifting, right? Unless, you do have different resources and funds. And these things don't have to be, we don't have to say like, oh my God, it's so expensive. There's a value for your health. There's a value for also putting the work in. My best clients, my top-notch clients, get this message, that they get that it's not just about the physical, that they show up to do the mental, emotional, and spiritual work that a lot of times we don't want to sit still long enough to quiet the noise, to stop scrolling, to focus on the North Star. Okay, so other things, people will say, okay, there's such thing called Ozempic face, and I have seen this. It's kind of almost like the dead giveaway. And again, this is no judgment, but what happens is, remember when bariatric surgery was the main weight loss modality, I would say, when that was very popular. Al Roker is a good example of this. He lost weight very rapidly, and so it was like he was all head, and then he got really skinny. And if you follow his journey, and as well as other celebrities, and there's no judgment to them, it's just these patterns that we see. And he has grown his stomach back, and he's gained the weight back. So why is that? Because I could talk for hours about this, guys. I don't want to bore us to death. But whenever we do cut the stomach, we are cutting the gut. The gut starts from the mouth all the way out your backside. So now what we know better now is like, oh my God, I just cut my gut, which is like my second brain. My vagus nerve is running down there. So that even though it's repairable, now there's a disruption in that gut-brain connection. So perhaps he did not do the necessary work to evoke a permanent behavior change, and also to understand his new identity. That is very hard for, I myself included, when people yo-yo diet. It's because they almost are blind. They're blind. They can't see their results. They're like, yeah, but all I still see is the person that I was. And that's where the mindset of Perfect 10 comes in, that you'll learn next week if you show up to Glow Up, on how to strengthen your pineal gland. Because as adults, it gets calcified. and we forget about the magic. Okay. So yeah, the other thing with, any of these things, like a rapid weight loss, any type of rapid weight loss, is the loss of precious skeletal muscle. So let's say, okay, this is why obviously I do what I do, because the benefits of exercise and nutrition are going to trump, there's no negative side effects. Oh, I'm a little sore. Well, okay, that means you did something, right? We could say, oh, there's risk to exercise. Gang, there is risk to crossing the street. But I mean, let's be real. It's not to the same degree, right? So by rapid weight loss, even if you've done a crash diet before and you're like, woohoo, I feel so skinny, or whatever, it's rapid weight loss, comes back on. What we're doing is we're losing that skeletal muscle, which that one is so precious because we want to keep our bones strong, and we also want to make sure that we're not losing the benefits that a muscular body has over our metabolism. We live in an age of Amazon Prime. We want it delivered to our door the very next day. Sometimes, those guys are working, you'll get it 10 p.m. at night. You ordered it at noon. It's like, God, I didn't need that quick, buddy. Like, please take a nap on your lunch hour. So we live in this, instant gratification means. And what I have definitely learned over the years through observation, through coaching women, through my own personal journey, is that discipline ain't sexy, but the results are. And to be disciplined, you might say, well, Aubrey, I'm so disciplined with my exercise. I'm not with my nutrition. That's okay. I designed the perfect 10 so you don't have to be a perfect 10 in all aspects of your life. And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, guys. You're showing up today seeing me trying my damnedest because I'm so passionate about applying the techniques that I apply with my clients and being that walking, talking example to you so that you can do what I do and you can experience driving your Ferrari. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. And, it's not like I was trying to tap dance around the issue. I think it's very good to try to have an unbiased opinion on these things, but also the awareness to recognize patterns. Like I said, in summary, there's patterns in the fitness industry. Guys, the next latest, greatest supplement, oh my gosh, every podcast I listen to, it's like, hey, you got to try this next thing. And guess what? And it's like, oh my gosh, as a professional, I'm like, good God, what else do I need to do just to exist and have a great workout today? So it's everywhere. The podcast that maybe you listen to, what's the next latest, greatest medication that we could take? What about if you're into skincare? What's the latest, greatest thing I could put in my face? There's a lot. We are not short on resources, but I encourage you to take some deep breaths and really shine a light on the real issue that you feel that you have not gotten your Ferrari yet. Okay, gang. I think I chatted all about that. If you guys have any questions or comments, drop in the comments the big O. Say, oh yeah, I feel you, girl. All right. I hope this was beneficial. I really wanted to dive into this a little bit sooner. And gang, make sure you stay tuned to this group because next week is going to be a really powerful week. You got to show up to glow up. You got to register for this event so you're playing full out. And in summary, ciao for now.